Hello Group 1, welcome to your reading. First, let's take a look at what kind of beauty aura you naturally carry. We have Four of Pentacles, the Lovers, and the Three of Pentacles, with the Hierophant as the underlying energy. Right away, what I'm picking up is that you are someone who is very easy to fall for. And this isn't limited to romantic attraction. Your energy naturally creates a sense of likability and warmth. It's almost like not just people, but even animals or plants, or your surroundings feel drawn to you. There's something about your presence that makes others want to come closer. The Four of Pentacles tells me that you are a very grounded and self-contained person. You have strong boundaries. You might come across as a bit reserved, shy, even slightly distant, or overly composed at times. But underneath that surface, there's actually a deep romantic nature within you. Now the Lovers is where your magnetic quality really shows. You have the ability to resonate with other souls. People feel seen and accepted by you on a deeper level. It's almost like, through connecting with you, they are also able to recognize themselves. This card also presents a sense of duality, a contrast within you, and it's interesting that it appears between the Four and the Three of Pentacles. You can be independent, but also highly cooperative. You value stability, but you are not closed off to change or exploration. A big part of this comes from your strong pursuit of knowledge and spiritual growth. At times, you may even go through phases of deep focus or obsession within learning and self-development. I'm also seeing that a lifestyle that really suits you is having periods of solitude, times where you withdraw, reflect, and go through inner transformation. And then, when you return, you bring that wisdom back into the world, either by sharing it or applying it in practical ways. There's also a very clear artistic or scholarly aura around you. Even if you left school a long time ago, you still carry this kind of refined, intellectual, almost a gentle presence. In group settings, you actually work very well with others. You stay true to yourself, but you're open to collaboration. And interestingly, you don't feel overly worldly or overly influenced by society. It's like you see yourself as a lifelong student, always learning, always growing. For some of you, this could even mean going back to study again at different points in your life, or at the very least, creating your own retreat periods to recharge mentally and spiritually. With the Hierophant as your underlying energy, there's a strong sense that you carry a kind of spiritual authority or quiet leadership. Sometimes, in the most unexpected moment, you say things that are incredibly profound. You are not planning it. It just comes out naturally, but it leaves a deep impact. In those moments, you almost glow, and even you might feel like that. Was that really me? But at the same time, it feels like your truest self. You may have a blend of earth and air energy, meaning you can take your ideas and aspirations and actually ground them into reality through practical action. Your energy is very nourishing, not just emotionally, but also on a mental and spiritual level. And honestly, more classic, elegant, or timeless styles would suit you very well. Now, let's look at how this energy shows up in the real world. We have Five of Cups, Justice, and the Moon, with the Four of Cups as the underlying energy. This is quite subtle, because what I'm seeing is that you may actually intentionally hold back your charm. You have your own rhythm. You reveal yourself slowly, layer by layer. You have a very rich inner world. And because of your deep focus on knowledge and wisdom, you may not be that interested in certain aspects of everyday, surface-level life. Even though the Three of Pentacles earlier showed that you can function well in groups, and people trust your ability and a sense of responsibility, you still keep a private inner space for yourself, and others can feel that distance. Your inner world is not something people can easily access. It's almost like there's a selection process. Not everyone gets in. This reflects that duality again. On one hand, you are friendly and cooperated. On the other hand, you maintain a clear emotional boundary, and people can definitely feel that. The Five of Cups shows a kind of quiet disappointment and a sensitivity toward the material world. It's like you feel that life could have been something more, something different. And because of that, you almost feel a responsibility to protect a more ideal version of the world within your inner space. With the Justice, you carry a natural sense of balance and composure. So even though there's distance, You are still graceful, fair, and easy to interact with. This contrast is actually very attractive. People can connect with you, but they can't fully reach you. You don't overshare your inner world. Instead, you maintain harmony with others in a very calm and elegant way. Then with the moon, your energy becomes even more mysterious and hard to read. People can sense that what you show is only a small fraction of who you really are. And while this creates fascination, it can also create a bit of uncertainty. People may wonder how much they can trust or understand you. There's also a strong sense of depth here. And that depth can feel a little intimidating because others don't quite know how deep it goes. With the Four of Cups underneath, it reinforces that you may not be very engaged with the outer world all the time. You can get quite absorbed in your own inner space. And because of this, others might feel like you are not that interested in them, even if they have feelings for you. And just like the lover's energy, there's a mirroring effect. The distance you hold can cause others to hesitate as well. And this doesn't just apply to romance, it can show up in friendships, family, and even work dynamics. Finally, let's see how others are affected by your energy. We have Four of Cups, Knight of Pentacles, and a Queen of Pentacles, with the Temperance as the underlying energy. It's interesting that the Four of Cups shows up again. This strongly suggests that there are definitely people around you who have feelings for you. This can be romantic or even just emotional admiration, but you might not fully notice it, or even if you do, you are not ready to respond. It feels like you are not quite ready to open up your inner world yet. Because of the distance, others tend to hold back at first. They observe you quietly instead of making obvious moves. But with the Knight of Pentacles, over time, people begin to recognize your value. They see that while you are deep, you are not chaotic or unstable. You are actually someone very reliable and grounded. You are not a type that creates instant obsession. Instead, your charm unfolds gradually. And because of that, the attraction people feel toward you actually builds over time. As they get to know you, they start to see you as the Queen of Pentacles, someone who is warm, nurturing, abundant, and emotionally supportive. You may be slow to open up, but you are someone who can truly hold space for others. Just being around you can make them feel calm, safe, and at ease. No matter how someone enters your life, you seem to have this natural ability to bring them into your peaceful, grounded frequency. People start to align with your pace, your energy, and your calmness. You are the kind of person people are willing to invest time and energy into understanding you. And once they do, they tend to follow you and stay. The connection doesn't just remain, it deepens and grows over time. With the Temperance, your overall effect is very clear. You bring healing, balance, and emotional harmony into other people's lives. The oracle card we have here is Warrior of the Heart. This tells me that you are actually much stronger than you appear. Most of the time, you are low-key and gentle, but when it comes to protecting the people or things you care about, you can step forward with a surprisingly powerful presence. There's also something very unique about you. You have a natural ability to diffuse conflict, and you didn't do this through force or control. Instead, it's your natural authority combined with your warmth that causes others to soften and align with you. It's honestly very powerful and very charismatic. Wishing the best for those of you who chose this pile, and I will see you in the next reading. Hello Group 2, welcome to your reading. First, let's take a look at what kind of beauty aura you naturally carry. We have the High Priestess, Five of Pentacles, and the Two of Cups. We also have the Four of Wands as the underlying energy. Okay, this is beautiful. Right away, I'm getting a feeling of lightness and purity. But at the same time, your inner world is like an ocean deep, emotional, and powerful. You come across as someone who is quiet, observant, and speaks with depth. You might be a bit of a homebody, someone who enjoys staying in your own little world, exploring niche or unusual interest. This gives you a very mysterious vibe. But the moment people start talking to you, they are often surprised because you seem to know so much. Whether it's general knowledge or understanding people's inner motivations, you have a way of getting straight to the point. You just get it. I also feel like you are quite sensitive, both physically and energetically. You may have a softer, more delicate constitution. Sometimes you might feel low on energy, wanting to lean on something, or unconsciously letting out deep sighs. There's also a slightly melancholic side to you, and that's because at your core, you are deeply compassionate. You feel for others very strongly. Just thinking about people in difficult and painful situations can genuinely make you feel sad. You care deeply. You think about others. And at times, you may even carry a kind of savior complex, feeling like it's your responsibility or mission to help. But at the same time, this path can feel lonely, like you're the only one who sees things this way or the only one trying. And when you feel low, you might even turn that sadness inward, blaming yourself for not being able to do more. Despite all of this, your energy is incredibly gentle, calm, and safe. People naturally let their guard down around you, and you're very sincere. You are someone who can open your heart easily and create genuine connections. You are also highly accepting and non-judgmental. You don't reject people just because they are different from what you expected. There's a kind of openness in you that feels like a soft, nourishing breeze. Being around you feels comforting and healing. Even though you are quiet, you are not overly closed off. In fact, I'm picking up a surprisingly welcoming energy from you. It's interesting. You may not like going out much, but you're very open to letting others into your world. And once people enter a space, they are often surprised by your warmth and sincerity. You are not cold or judgmental like they might have assumed. Instead, you come across as simple, intuitive, and genuine. Your insights come from intuition, not overthinking. And sometimes there's even a slightly innocent or adorable quality to you, which contrasts with your more composed outer image. You also carry a dreamy side, which can sometimes make you seem a bit unrealistic. And honestly, this can be one source of your loneliness. Because while you can get others open up to you, when you invite them into your world, they may hesitate. This isn't your fault. To live in a soft, beautiful, dreamlike state requires a light and a pure heart. And most people are carrying too much, too many attachments, too many burdens to fully step into that space with you. In terms of style, you will really suit something fresh, natural, and soft, maybe slightly earthy or forest inspired. Think natural fabrics, gentle tones, something effortless and pure. Now let's look at how your energy shows up in the real world. We have Ten of Pentacles, Five of Wands, and Ten of Cups. At the bottom of the deck, we have Nine of Cups. You are someone who makes people imagine things. In other people's eyes, you seem complete, fulfilled, and abundant, like you already have everything. Even if you don't feel that way yourself, others may admire or even envy your life. They might project on you, imagine what it would be like to live your life, to be close to you, or to be your partner or family. With the double tens here, I'm seeing that you have a strong presence in every area of life. Family, work, or relationships. You are not someone who can be easily overlooked, even if you personally prefer to stay low-key. There's also something interesting here. You seem to often appear during times of transition or change. For example, you change jobs and a company happens to be restructuring. You meet someone and they are going through major life events. You step into a new phase and suddenly something significant unfolds. It's like your life moves in cycles, from stability to change to fulfillment, and then again. But through all these cycles, one thing remains constant: your spiritual independence. No matter what your external environment looks like, your inner sense of fulfillment doesn't depend on it. And this independence actually gives you the freedom to do whatever you want, meet who you want, follow your curiosity, explore changes, and pursue a sense of wholeness. With the Nine of Cups and the High Priestess, I feel like you know that change is part of your life path. And not only do you experience transformation, you also bring that energy of transformation into other people's lives. And because of you, others may feel like their lives become more complete and meaningful. And this influence is long lasting. It can even help others develop their own inner independence. And ultimately, that's what creates a sense of fulfillment. I'm also seeing that your deepest joy comes from simple, pure moments. It's like the image of an elder, smiling like a child, looking back on a rich and meaningful life, realizing that even the regrets were necessary and feeling completely at peace. There's a sense of understanding everything, accepting everything, and being deeply content. And for some of you, even if you once felt like this might be your final lifetime, you may actually change your mind later, choosing to return again after reaching that level of understanding. Finally, let's see how others are affected by your energy. You have Page of Pentacles, Eight of Swords, the Fool. At the bottom of the deck, we have Ace of Cups. This is truly powerful. This feels like you are someone who appears in people's lives exactly when they need it most. It's almost like you are sent as a kind of angelic presence, bringing warmth during people's hardest moments. The image that comes to my mind is someone who has been struggling for a long time, feeling stuck, alone, and helpless. And then you appear, offering something simple, a kind word, a small gesture, a moment of care. And somehow, that small moment becomes the only warmth they've felt in a long time. But it's enough to help them keep going. And that's your impact. With the Ace of Cups as the underlying energy, you are truly a gift and a blessing to others. You don't need to be someone extraordinary or powerful in a traditional sense. It's often your small, genuine actions that bring the most meaningful comfort. At a moment when someone feels like giving up, something simple from you, a sentence, a gesture, your presence can give them the strength to continue. And because this is a page energy, you don't even see yourself as a savior. To you, it's just something small, something natural. If someone gets better, you might think it has nothing to do with you. But what you may not realize is, it's not just what you did, it's when you did it. From the Eight of Swords to the Fool, I see a huge transformation. The people you help genuinely move from feeling trapped and restricted to feeling free and open. And that freedom doesn't necessarily come from external change. It comes from gaining inner strength. Maybe it's because you've been through something similar yourself. You understand what it means to feel stuck and how to gently guide someone out of it. Your oracle card here is the Peaceful Pipe. This is a deeply healing and blessing-oriented energy, and it reflects exactly who you are. You carry a natural ability to bring peace, calm, and emotional healing. I'm also getting that breath work is very important for you. If you are holding emotional pain, imagine releasing it through your breath, letting it flow out gently. And one more message here. Forgiveness isn't about understanding others. It's about understanding and freeing yourself. Okay, wishing the best to those of you who chose this pile, and I'll see you in the next reading. Hello Group 3, welcome to your reading. First, let's take a look at what kind of beauty aura you naturally carry. We have Death, King of Swords, and the Seven of Swords. We also have the Six of Cups as the underlying energy. This pile immediately reminds me of the movie The Mist, that beautiful forest hidden behind an alien-like barrier. It's stunning, but there's also something mysterious, dangerous, and impossible to fully understand about it. And that's exactly what your beauty feels like. Your beauty is fatal, irresistible, shifting between light and shadow. It has layers, and it also has depths. It feels like there's always something hidden beneath the surface. You almost seem to have this natural ability to reflect people back to themselves. Around you, hidden motives, lies, emotional wounds, insecurities, they all seem to rise to the surface. Nothing can really stay hidden in your presence. No matter your gender, there is something undeniably sensual and magnetic around you. What's interesting is that you may actually dress very conservatively. You may not reveal much physically at all. But even when you are completely still, people can feel this undercurrent of intensity around you. In other people's eyes, you almost have this cinematic, slow-motion turning back effect. Even when you aren't moving, it feels like a moment has suddenly come into focus, as if blurry vision suddenly sharpens onto you. You are someone who often falls into deep thought. It's like your mind and soul can activate at the same time. And then when you enter that focused, introspective state, it's almost like you create an invisible field around yourself. Everything that once felt bright and ordinary suddenly becomes mysterious, hazy, and profound.
Your voice may not be loud, but it's extremely distinctive. There's rhythm, tone, and a presence in the way you speak. This part also makes me feel like some of you carry the energy of a keeper of hidden knowledge, almost like someone continuing a mysterious lineage or spiritual tradition. You carry a strong sense of mission, but you don't openly announce it. And this creates something very interesting. You may not fit society's traditional image of authority, but people naturally look up to you anyway. They instinctively follow your lead or agree with you. If you wanted to, you could absolutely influence or control people. But unlike manipulative energy that forces others into submission, your influence is subtler. People naturally follow you because on some level, they feel like you can see through them. It's almost fear-based, but not in an evil way. More like they unconsciously feel exposed in your presence. This pile feels incredibly mysterious and hypnotic. No matter how you appear in ordinary life, many of you carry a faint sadness. Some of you may feel emotionally burdened, or even feel like embodied endings and transformation itself, as if you're a physical expression of the death card. But with the Six of Cards underneath, I can feel the purity of your soul. Beneath all of this intensity, there is immense softness. If you were standing in a crowd and everyone else was trying to attract pure-hearted beings, like children or animals, through friendliness or gifts, you could be the one doing absolutely nothing, blending quietly into the background, and yet somehow, those pure souls would find you immediately. I also feel that many of you have gone through several dramatic or even dangerous situations in life. Some events may have been genuinely intense or close calls. But every single time, you somehow make it through safely. It feels like you are deeply protected, almost as if angels appear at the exact moment you need them, or another version of yourself from another timeline steps in to save you. Very powerful energy. Now let's look at how your energy shows up in the material world. We have Ace of Wands, Queen of Swords, and a Five of Swords. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Magician. Okay, my first impression is exactly what I mentioned earlier. If you wanted to, you absolutely could influence people. But unlike Devil card energy, which traps people emotionally, your influence works through ideas, values, and perception. You are extremely logical, persuasive, and compelling in the way you communicate. You know how to tell stories. You know how to move people emotionally and mentally. So yes, if you wanted to, you could impose your ideas onto others, and they would likely follow. And maybe, just maybe, some of you have already gone through a phase in life where you unconsciously influenced or controlled other people's thinking. I'm not saying this in a judgmental way at all. I'm simply describing the energy I'm seeing. And if this resonates, I have to say, there's actually a higher purpose behind it. It feels like both of you and others needed to enter these roles of influence and submission in order to gain certain experiences, achievements, identities, or lessons before moving into the next phase of your soul journey. And honestly, the next phase feels like the real beginning of your soul mission. This path feels almost unreal, like an ultra-realistic virtual reality game. But interestingly, you don't feel like the hidden mastermind controlling the game. Instead, you feel more like the person who fully enters the game, experiences everything firsthand, and gradually learns the strategy guide through the experience. That's why this energy feels so layered and strange. Even the way others become influenced by you feels like part of a much larger process, as though you first need to gather certain tools or experiences, like the magician collecting all four elements before stepping into their true purpose. Again, I'm not trying to romanticize manipulation. This is simply the energetic message coming through. This part honestly feels like souls vibrating at very high intensity. In a material world, you are extremely adaptable. You may resist change for a brief moment at first, but only briefly. Your life is not passive at all. And what's fascinating is that every major change somehow becomes an opportunity for you. You always seem to discover hidden treasures and move into the next chapter carrying blessings with you. And once you figure out the rules of this game, I feel some of you develop a new ambition. You begin wanting to redesign this game itself. At that stage, though, you realize you can no longer achieve things through your old methods. You need to develop new skills, integrate all your previous experiences, and learn how to use all aspects of yourself simultaneously. If earlier forms of unconscious control came from not fully trusting yourself yet, then this new stage is about integration. You begin becoming more whole, more multidimensional. Some of you may even experience a huge energetic shift from the low energy into high energy consciousness. You'll know exactly when to go all in and when to conserve energy. You still remain resourceful and powerful, but now as the designer rather than just a player, you become much more intentional with how you use your power. And finally, let's see how others are affected by your energy. We have the King of Wands in reverse, Seven of Pentacles, and Six of Pentacles. At the bottom of the deck, we have the World. One very strong message here, you have the power to rewrite other people's destiny. People may completely change their beliefs, life goals, or long-term plans because of you. And because the King of Wands appears reversed, this influence is usually not direct. It's subtle, gradual, and long-term. You may not even realize you are affecting people. From your perspective, you simply focus on living your own life. But every risk you take, every experiment you make with life, every boundary you push quietly changes the way others think. What fascinates people most about you is that you seem strangely detached from the worldly desires. It's almost like there's nothing in this world can truly tempt or control or possess you. People can't quite figure out what you actually want. And when others intensely chasing status, success, attention, and material goals, they notice that you seem completely uninterested. It almost disappoints them, like they are suddenly no audience watching the performance anymore. But at the same time, your influence causes them to question themselves. Why am I chasing the things in the first place? I also feel that others may view you as a potential threat or competitor, even if you are not outwardly competitive at all. But because underneath your common exterior, people can sense an enormous inner fire burning, and they become obsessed with understanding what drives you. What are you shooting after? Could your existence threaten what you've built? With the Seven and the Six of Pentacles, I see that you move through the material world in a very grounded and balanced way. You are patient, calm, not overly aggressive, not overly passive. You maintain a subtle and respectful relationship with the world around you, neither overly warm or overly distant. And the reason for this is beautiful. It feels like you spread your energy out gently over the parts of the world you care about, and whenever imbalance appears somewhere, you instinctively direct your energy there to restore harmony. So yes, your distance exists because your heart is connected to something much larger. You appear cold on the outside because internally you care deeply about the world. Your oracle card here is Walking in Beauty. This card tells me that you are here to introduce a new kind of beauty into this world, not just physical beauty but spiritual beauty. And just like I mentioned earlier, you don't change people through force, you change your own destiny. And then one day, when you look back, you realize countless people have quietly followed your path, and all of them are surrounded by happiness and transformation because of it. Okay, wish you all the best to those of you who chose this pile, and I'll see you in the next reading.